I'm starting to fit the wings. When I did a dry fit, the width of the wing doesn't match the molded part of the fuselage, so I've added a piece of plastic card to spread the wing a touch, which aligns it with the top and the bottom. As for the wing fit, they just go as grooves in the wings and they fit on the spars like so, and then just glue them on. Alright, in the process of still cleaning up the aircraft, you can see I've got putty smeared all over it. Don't be too concerned, I always do that, and I go over the seam lines to make sure I'm getting everything covered. I'm using Tamiya putty, the white one. That's the best one I've come across so far. I've cleaned up this nacelle. You see that one's still got to be done, and I've skipped ahead. I wanted to see about the engine, how they fit. So I've built one. It's unfortunate the way they've engineered it. You have to put it all together like so, which makes it difficult if you wanted to paint all the parts up separate and then join it. So if you want to paint different colors on there, you'll have to hand paint it. And they even want the propeller to go on now, but thankfully that doesn't need to happen. It's just a plug fit onto the nacelle. It's a square plug. The cowl flaps, I find this is really vague. They just say, oh, push it on there, but push it on how far? Because it can go there, or does it sit back further? It doesn't really. The picture here looks like it's sitting forward more. So perhaps when the engine goes in, there's a place that'll rest, but I don't know. It doesn't look. It just looks vague to me. Yeah. So the way they've done that's unfortunate, because you have to glue these pipes, all the pipe work from the pistons goes onto that ring at the front. Yeah, so you can't paint that up separate, even though I think the colour call outs are separate. Having said that, if you're putting the engine covers on, you won't see it anyway, but some modelers like to display an engine open to show detail. I'm having it all buttoned up for the keep the flow of the aircraft, look of the aircraft going. Plus it's just going to be one I want to sell, so I don't want open engines. So you see I started cleaning up the seams, the seam line join. Very nice. Some panel line to be put back in. I'll scribe them in later. At the moment I'm cleaning up the wings. So I've put that one air scoop on this side, which is suggesting how far back our cowl flaps go, but still that's okay to say that sits there. But I don't know, still not happy with it, but we'll see when I get to the stage of putting the other bits on. And so cleaning up the wings, if you got round edges, let me look at that. It's the way, working mess. Here it is. There you get your scraper. If you want to keep your curve, you can use a scraper or your traditional sanding sticks. For areas like this, like we got this, I'm not sure what they are, but you get panel line, or seam line, sorry, like here, going through there. Instead of trying to sand that out. I'm just going to punch out a bit of plastic card. It's only 0.1 mil. And I'm just going to put it in there. It's not exact size. That's as big as punch as I have. Oops. Come on. And then just glue it in. And that's a quick way to save time. Like I said, that's not all the way across, so you could probably cut one and sand it down if you want, but just for ease of time, I'm just doing that to block out that join line. I just got to glue it in. Alright, making some progress cleaning up seam lines, rescribing in panel lines. This is it's like automotive pinstriping tape. It's good because it's flexible. You can bend it to curves, or if you need a really finesse area, slice it down the middle, but you can flex it around. Whereas Dymo tape, because it's so thick, it's harder to do. But just keep in mind, this is because it's flexible, it's thin, so you need to be careful when you're running your scriber next to it, that you don't jump off. So I got to paint in here is interior of the flaps, so that'll be the same color as here. These pieces go in underneath, they plug in, so there'll be a gap. There's ejection pin marks on these. You need to take care of them, because when you put them in, you'll you will be able to see them if you. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see where they are. That's no biggie. You don't have to do that, but if you want to take care of ejection pin marks, take care of them. Going back to look at the engine's mounting and the cowl flaps, and then over here we come to the fitting of the cowls. So they show you putting the cowl flaps on, then plug the engine in, and then you wrap around the cowl halves, glue together. But I want to just put it all in at once, so just dry fitting an engine. There's no, because it's square, there's no particular way it needs to go. It's symmetrical. There's no, I've dry fitted up the cowl halves and the cowl flaps, and obviously if you can do it this way, we know exactly where the cowl flaps are going to sit. Now this is loose, so it's not going to, but hopefully we can just go over, and there you go, that'll work. So what I'll do is glue this up, and that way I can clean the seam lines up, and there's a seam on that, just on the inner lip there. The inside, don't worry, because the that ring on the engine goes right up flush to that the cowl, so we just need to take care of those little bits. So that will work well. I've still got to put the exhaust pipe out of that cowl.